Hello, shining ones. Magus with you on a beautiful day in Oshawa. We're outside today, and you know what? It's brisk, and it's cold, and it's alive. And I wanted to be in this setting because today I'm going to share with a lot of you that have never heard of still pools of the mind before. You're going to feel what I'm feeling here inside of you. There's going to be a hope and a freshness. You know, I already put out a video today. I'll put a link at the end of this video that you can click on. It's called Zoroastrian Strength, A Way Forward. And at the end of it, we actually do an exercise, my friends, that I promise you will change your lives. Chapter 2 of Still Pools of the Mind. It's entitled The Mind. If thou can believe, all things are possible to him who believes. By the words of Jesus, we see that our good is only a belief away. Now all man needs to reach his unlimited potential is to tear down his ideas of believing that do not work and replace it with an understanding of the law of faith. A law is defined as a statement of a relation or sequence of phenomena invariable under the same circumstance. A law is the same for everyone. It is impartial. It cannot be bribed. Begging and crying does not change it. If you have the wrong idea of the law of gravity or electricity, eventually, if you survived, even the weakest mind will start to reevaluate its understanding. And it is the same with spiritual law. To understand a law or to have a belief, we must start at the source, which is mind. So, what is the mind? One must realize mind is much more than the organ we call brain. The mind is your very being, vohumenio. It is the consciousness, the very thing that lets you realize you are. There are two states of consciousness, the objective, also known as the conscious, and the subjective, also known as the subconscious. The objective is not influenced by personal thought, while the subjective is your personal thought of the matter. You have probably heard it said we use only around 10% of our mind conscious. Imagine the possibilities of tapping into that 90% of your mind, the subconscious. It would bring alive such scriptures as, "Be it unto you as you believed," or "All things are possible to him that believes." You would begin working in that plastic medium that Christ prophesied, "Greater works shall you do." Now I'm sure you are ready to get straight into that subconscious and unlock this unlimited power. But one must start in the conscious. As amazing as it might seem, the conscious is master of the subconscious. Your subconscious is personal belief. It is built by what your conscious mind sees, hears, and experiences. For instance, if you've gotten ill eating a certain food, the next time you come in contact with that food, your subconscious will tell you it's going to make you sick. Just the look or the smell of it will turn your stomach because the conscious mind has stored it in your subconscious mind to protect you from experiencing the same bad result. It is a natural defense for your own protection, such as touching a hot stove. Now, the conscious mind can take control of the situation and use reason to determine if there's any real danger. For instance, with the food, if you vomited because you had a flu virus, not because the food item itself is bad, you would be able to eat that food again with no adverse effects. Reprogramming your subconscious. Now, with a hot stove, you would reason that it is still not wise to touch the stove, and that belief would remain. Where a person gets into trouble is when these prompters start overruling one's life with misinformation and wrong personal beliefs, sabotaging their every effort for success. That is usually when we turn to a psychiatrist to go back down the timeline in our subconscious and to root out those prompters, expose them to the conscious mind, and reason out with guidance. For instance, if the prompter was created as a child, looking at it now with your adult reasoning, you would probably see the situation in a completely different light. An example of this, if you find yourself sick all the time, Your subconscious might be harboring a phrase you heard as a child, such as, he gets sick every winter, or he catches every bug that comes along. The mind, you see, controls the immune system, and with beliefs like that, who would be healthy? Another example is a person who wants to be financially successful, but as a child heard phrases such as, our family has always been working class and always will be, or only crooks get ahead. That man would unconsciously sabotage his own success and not consciously realize that he is doing so. So it would be impossible to live a happy, successful life with the largest part of your mind not functioning properly. Peace Pilgrim says, if you realize how powerful your thoughts are, you would never think a negative thought. We have all heard the saying, do not judge others lest you be judged. Some have taken that to mean other people will judge you, or perhaps God will judge you, but there is a judge closer than you realize. It's your own mind. For instance, if you call a person stupid for a mistake he makes, your subconscious stores that information, and when you make a mistake, a signal goes out that you are stupid, not realizing it because it's coming from inside of you, and you begin to believe it. That should give us all good reason to find the positive in others. Know thyself. As we study the mind, we see Socrates knew what he was talking about. To live to our full potential, we have to know ourselves. Our subjective mind is not only self-sabotaging our success, but it can be a volcano under the surface. With the right circumstances, it will be set off. For when a person reaches a point he feels is unbearable, he starts moving down that continuum from sane toward the insane in different degrees according to how much misinformation is stored in his subconscious. This can be brought on by emotions generated from life experiences. If the case is bad enough, the unconscious can completely override the ego, enter a period of psychosis. Or the same situation in a different person may bring out a less degree on the continuum, perhaps an outburst of crazy talk, right, which we have all experienced. These episodes can be a look into what's going on in our minds. It is an attempt of the psyche to address the problem of the wrong self, our world image that we're holding. Now we look for the source. This can be done by looking at what feelings set off that episode and then tracing them back into the subconscious to the first time you felt that emotion. If you deal with that emotion at the first onset in your memory, then you will see it vanish in your present day. Another way to delve into the subconscious is through dream interpretation. Say you dream of being in a filthy bathroom, and when you awake, you recall the details of your dream, and with your conscious mind deduce what is really happening. You may see you have had a phobia of germs. Where did that originate? Maybe you were 6 years old and your mother said, don't touch anything in there or you'll get a disease. That is now your belief. Go back to it, look at it now with your reasoning adult mind, and I think you will find you will not have that dream anymore. And you will be able to go into a bathroom without an unnatural fear. Your conscious mind will have re-educated your unconscious, now removing the wrong beliefs. Our first step, the second step, is to replace them with truth. Replace the negative with the positive. This is from Matthew 12. It says, when the unclean spirit is gone out of a man, he walketh through dry places, seeking rest, and findeth none. Then he saith, I will return into my house from whence I came out. And when he is come, he findeth it empty, swept, and garnished. Then goeth he and taketh with him 7 other spirits, more wicked than himself, and they enter in and dwell there. And the last state of the man is worse than the first. I believe this is why psychotherapy alone takes so many years, and the results are discouraging. For error must be removed, yes, but truth must take its place, or there is no lasting recovery. Man has been attempting to remove God from their science of mind. God is truth. If there is no truth, you are left with only error. Man, thinking himself wise, have become the fool, and it is showing in the rapid increase in mental disorders and their ability to only cope with the systems and not heal. To gain a clear picture of this, let's look at hypnosis. When a subject is under hypnosis, his conscious is put to sleep, and the therapist can speak directly to the subject's subconscious, bypassing his conscious. The therapist becomes the subject's conscious or master. The subconscious will accept the treatment, and when When the subject is awakened, he believes what was implanted. For instance, that he no longer has a desire to smoke, overeat, etc. These positive effects are short-lived though, because the conscious was not involved in the process. The conscious soon starts to feeding those wrong thoughts back into the subconscious, putting the subject right back into the destructive habit. But worse, he feels a need to fill that empty void and has lost a little more faith of getting better. My friends, tomorrow we're going to be in chapter 3, the 2 minds. If you enjoy this, if you're loving still pulls, hit that like button, share it with someone. Join us as we take this journey through the mind. I love you guys. Be blessed. There should be a link up here for this morning's video. I love, love, love you.